Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching from. My name is Alan Sanyo from Everything Mentor. Remember, in our very first episode, we talked about loss at the workplace, and we explained what it means and how it takes a mental toll in everyone and everything that comes with it. Yes, so loss at the workplace can come from anywhere. It can come from any work industry. So the workplace can be political, from a political industry, it can be from a manufacturing plant, it can be from so many other fields of the workplace. So in this particular case, we are going to dive deeper into loss at the workplace, while sharing the experience of one of a very prominent person in this town, as they share their experience about loss at their workplace. Yes, so with me, I have my co-host.
I'm Doreen Nyanjura, and I'm also from Everything Mentor. As we talk about loss at our workplace, we want to dive into also how it affects your mental well-being. How are you maneuvering? How is the person maneuvering as they go through loss? Because as we prepare to get promoted, to get new positions, or even to maintain our positions that we had in leadership, sometimes things might not work out the way we expected. So how are we maneuvering? How are we managing? And what is the lived experience? How are people perceiving us? Do they still respect us? Do they still call us? Do they still refer to us as the prominent people, as the influencers of change? So we will listen to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome our very first guest today. This lady is a very powerful lady in this town. She has done so many things. She's an activist. She is a council member at KCCA from Makerere University. She has held different positions. She has spoken for women. She has been a voice for women, and her most recent role has been Deputy Lord Mayor, and she has served a term which will end May. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome her worship, Madam Doreen Nyanjura. Madam Nyanjura, you're
Yes.
very welcome. We are very honored to be a part of this show.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you, my namesake, Doreen.
Thank
Meanwhile, you ladies are so smart. Eh?
Thank you. You two are smart. You look great.
I'm a bit casual today, but it's well. It's a pleasure being here. And thank you so much for the excellent work that you're doing. I think as a country, we pay attention to many other issues, but issues to do with mental, I think we still have a long way to go. That you, especially the ladies that are hosting me, are among the pioneers that think issues of mental are crucial and should be paid attention to. I think you deserve an applause from me.
Thank you.
So well done, and I'm really happy being with you.
Thank you.
This is a ladies' show, by the way, for those who are watching. Yes.
Yes, so Madam Nyanjura,
Yes.
we have been talking about loss at the workplace, and we happened to land on one of your tweets, which was on the 10th of February, which really intrigued us to try and reach out. So please allow me to read the tweet, and then we'll pick it up from there. Yes, so the tweet read, I hardly receive emails these days. Even the phone calls have reduced, the invitations have dimmed. So the political reality means the emails were not being sent to Nyanjura, the phone calls were not being made to Nyanjura, the invitations were not for Nyanjura. There were emails, phone calls, and invitations to the position that I'm exiting in May. NGOs that organize leadership sessions for those that emerge victorious after elections need to start putting more emphasis on training sessions for those that don't emerge victorious. Society loves walking and moving alongside winners, no matter how they win. Very few people care about losers that are largely nursing wounds of defeat. They have debts and the future seems bleak. Yeah, so this is a tweet that was put up by you. I find it a personal, coming from a personal space. Yeah, but I really applaud you for that. It takes a brave person to come out and share that. Thank you. Yes,
thanks for appreciating.
Yes, so I would like to know, where was this coming from? Could you please expound more?
Well, I was simply talking about myself, but of course also talking on behalf of so many others, especially politicians who did not make it in the election that we have just concluded, even those that have really been facing challenges as those that I stated in my tweet. So basically it's the reality.
Yeah.
I remember at one point I'd ask my PA, but are you sure there is no email, you know? Because I used to get so many emails. So I told him, you please refresh. And it's like, you're watching.
There's a problem with the internet.
You thought it was
and he said there's nothing. And honestly speaking, especially for my work email, we even stopped checking because we hardly get any invitations. So I mean, these things take a toll on us. And then you're there. You had a very big WhatsApp group. It was very active. Then after the results coming out, you see people leaving, they're exiting. Even those that you thought, you know, maybe these ones had to stay. So you see everyone exiting. And by that, surprising for me, I had this house help.
Yes.
Like we're almost attached. She's more like family. She also left. She said,
because
Auntie, for me, I think that is the reason. I said, Uncle, Auntie, and I'm not feeling well. We have an emergency at home. I mean, she also exited. Probably she's like, now will this one manage to pay me? Or what? Yeah, then I call at home and they're like, no, but she's not even here and we're okay. There's no emergency and all that. So you find like you have been abandoned, you have been left almost alone. And these are things that people hardly talk about. For those who know me, for me, I'll always speak out my mind, say what is happening. And if we have been following, in this just concluded election, we have one of our colleagues, the Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi.
Yes.
Clearly, you could tell that this is a frustrated man. Probably he didn't know which direction to take, where to start from. And I think that doesn't happen to him alone. It doesn't happen to Nyanjura alone. It happens to so many other politicians that do not make it. And you know, the society doesn't care, you know. They don't look at, okay, to them the end justifies the means. Everyone wants to associate with a so-called winner, you know. They don't look at, like this concluded election. For me, it was more like war. They don't look at the irregularities involved in the process. Everyone wants to go with the winner, no matter how that winner has made it.
You mentioned,
yes.
You mentioned, I think that right from your home, you have lost people, you have lost touch, no emails, no phone calls. I'm just curious, what are those measures that you have put in place as an individual to protect yourself? Because from what we've observed, you've risen through ranks, you've risen through positions, and this is a time probably you didn't expect it. What have you done at a personal level? And are there platforms where you also share as people who have not succeeded in the political sphere at the moment? And are there other avenues that you're using to manage?
Well, I think I have my mantra. I have things that I believe in as an individual. I always believe in preparing for the worst as a hope for the best. And secondly, I want to talk as As someone who has participated in the elections of this country, it's not all the time that even when you win, you're going to be declared. We have had incidences where the fourth person is actually announced as the winner, even when that person has not won. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. In one way or another, it will affect you. And I want to thank myself that even when, well, as Deputy Lord Mayor, I never allowed power to go on my head, you know, security, you know, behave like, you know, a president of sorts.
Yeah.
I tried my level best to remain as ordinary as I could be. I tried my level best to be humble, and I think I'm coping. Yes, I have a driver, but you've seen me today decided to drive myself. So I've been driving myself around. I had a driver who used to take my daughter to school. So it's now an opportunity for me to also drive her to school. I don't need a driver, and I think
To do
and I think by the way, it's a good experience. My daughter so much loved to spend time with her dad because the dad would take her out, go for swimming. So I used last weekend to go out with my
to bond with your daughter.
to bond with my daughter, go out with them, and it was fun. So I think we really have to get prepared, and like I do quite a lot of reading. I'm not the first person to go through this. So in an instance where I have to go to office, and now maybe that office is not there, it is not KCCA. We have an office here at Katonga.
Yeah.
So why don't I come to Katonga and, you know, discuss with my other fellow politicians? Because even Katonga, PFF has its own issues. You know, we only have 2 MPs that came back. One thing I know, if you're not in the proper state of mind, do whatever you can to make sure you leave your bed, to make sure you leave your home.
To look for the silver lining is what
Exactly. I think, I don't know, man. I've been telling people that I'm not used to staying at home.
Yes.
And probably this is something that the other politicians might find hard to cope with. If I stay home, I feel like maybe I'm not okay, maybe I'm sick. So I do my level best to make sure I do not stay at home. I only stay there if I must. Yes, if my daughters are there and I need to play with them, if the other one has gone to school, then I can leave.
Yeah.
If I must move with them, then we all move as a family. So I've been trying to cope that way. I love reading, so I wake up in the morning, read, do some bit of meditation. I authored my first book when I was at campus in my final year, and I was arrested, imprisoned, they sent 2 weeks in Luzira prison, but that is a story for another day. I'm equally working on a book, trying to document.
your path. Yeah.
Trying to document my path. How have the 10 years been like at KCCA? Yes, I'm also trying to work on my autobiography. I read about Che Guevara. He's one of those that I admire, the revolutionaries that I admire. He always had a diary on him, document how his day has moved. So Nyanjura, I've also been writing most of my days. So I'm equally trying to work on my autobiographies. And I had also set it in my plan that every time I'm elected, I must go back to school and upgrade. The first time I was voted, I went back to school and did a postgraduate diploma in public policy and governance. Okay. The second time I was re-elected, I again went back to school and did a master's in gender and women studies. So my plan this time was that I should go back to school and do a PhD in gender. So that dream is also still on. I'm still trying to look around, much as I didn't win an election, where I can go and, you know, and upgrade myself, my education and all that. So there's a lot of work that one can do, even when you're not in an elected office. And by the way, you know, it's unfortunate that now we look at leadership as a way of employment. Yes. For me, as someone who has been a leader all my life, I still look at leadership as a service. So my leaving, my being voted out, by not winning as a member of parliament, it does not mean that my life has ended. I can still offer leadership to women. Even yesterday was meeting some women and talking to them. I can still mentor girls into leadership. So I still feel that there's a lot.
I feel like it presents an opportunity for you to do other things beyond politics.
Exactly.
And also what I pick from what you've shared is you're looking for a silver lining out of this situation. It may not have turned out right for you politically, but you're using every time and every opportunity, even for your personal bonds and your daughter, friendships, family. So I picked from you that you're not dwelling on the negative, you're looking at every other positive aspect that can come out.
I think for most of the people that I've worked with, even for those that I've been working with during campaigns, when they announced the results, the people that I was with, the team that was doing most of the work, most of them broke down and they started crying. You could really see they're very frustrated, they are very stressed. And for me, I wasn't. So I'm like, guys, stop crying. Even if you cry, and they have said Nyanjura is not the winner, I am not going to do what? I am not going to win. I am not going to change. I am not going to change anything. So the results have come out. We have to accept them as they are. And they were at my home at night. There was food. Those who love drinking beers were there. The following day it was the same thing, even the other day. Now by then they were still coming. Of course now they no longer come. And they're like, but for you're strong. I'm like, yes, because this is the situation and I am not going to change it. And I always tell people that if you stress, there's even nothing you can do to change the situation. So I try to do my level best not to stress. And I got that from a book called Awaken the Giant Within. Because I mean, it's the reality. And we have to deal with it the way it has come. That does not mean that once in a while, you don't go and I'm like, oh my God, will I really get out of bed?
And the fact that people move on so fast and immediately tag with the winner.
Exactly.
Many people, others may just draw back and like, oh, does this speak to me as a failure? Or yet, instead of using it as an evolution. I like the fact that you're even thinking of evolving, even after this. So loss does not mean that, oh, now life comes at a standstill, or I'm not enough, or why didn't people choose me? So it speaks that even when you're lost at your workplace or in your role, you can still evolve, use time of loss as time to evolve.
I think you still can. Like I have said, you're not the first person in the situation that you're in. I read a book by the Honorable Dr. Miriam Atembe called The Struggle for Freedom. And in that book, I think one of the things that used to bother her quite a lot was like, my God, if I do not win an election, then what next? She feared that after losing, most likely she was going to be irrelevant in the country. But I mean, after that loss, she actually continued being vocal, fighting for the rights of women. I think she's still one of those that we celebrate, not only in the circle of women, but even as a country. So Nyanjura, I'm passionate about women. And women are currently going through a lot. We have so many women in prison. Domestic violence is still around. The girl child still needs to be mentored. So I believe it's better for me to put my attention there. As of course, I also try to look around for what I can do because I need money and I also need...
You need to survive.
I need to survive, eh? Yes. So...
Doreen,
you know, it's this pride, you know, of like, okay, I was high up here. There's no I can go down. My friend, at the end of the day, you're now unemployed and you have nothing to do. And if you don't know how to deal with these issues, I think that is why you'll find some of our colleagues very frustrated, ending up at State House, even when they do not believe in the ideals of NRM.
So that I want to drive from that point that you've just shared of some of your colleagues are going, I don't want to call it astray, but for lack of a better word, they are doing different actions, and probably some of them are maybe locked up in their homes. They've not come out to speak. I want to applaud you for being brave enough once again for speaking about this, because in most cases we see brave faces on TV concealing defeat. Is it concealing? Conceding defeat. Yeah, conceding defeat. And I want to applaud you for coming out to speak about that. But I'm curious. I know that loss affects us differently. The way Alan responds is different from the way you respond is different from the way I'm going to respond. So in your spaces, and the politics of the country, of any country anyway, leaves people in a very, I don't want to call it depression, but I want to call it mental unwell-being.
Exactly.
So are there avenues that people, that the leaders, not just politicians, that you, since you're a leader and we've seen you rise from Makerere, for example, in Makerere University, are there avenues that have been put in place where people can go to, or where an individual can refer to, or maybe now that you're handling it better, are there people that are coming to you to maybe like create circles to manage this? Or is everyone just on their own? And if they are on their own, how are they coping?
I think you've actually given me an idea. Probably we should do a partnership and we start looking out for these people. And honestly speaking, they are on their own. Yes. I have a friend, for him, immediately the results were not in his favor. I called him and said, me, I'm on my way to Kampala. So at the end of the day, when you lose, it's not only about you, by the way. It's even about the people that have been supporting you. They have been beaten, they have been tortured. I mean, some of them, they go through a lot.
Yes.
So, you know, if you get frustrated as a leader and you leave out the people that have sacrificed a lot, that is why for me I had to stay behind, hold, I would say, parties for my people because they sacrificed a lot to be with me and all that. I have been appealing. I don't want to appeal to government because in most cases this is not an area they have paid attention to. Yeah. I really want to appeal to the NGO world. I know many of them are now going to conduct workshops, trainings on how to be a good leader. Now, even government, for example, Parliament is also going to conduct an induction for the leaders. Yes. KCCA is going to conduct a what? In an induction for the leaders that have gone through. So the NGO world, probably you could leave that bit to government. Look for us that did not make it. Yes. Talk to us. Teach us how we can deal with this emotion stress. Teach us how we can go through the depression. Teach us how we can go through this isolation, you know, that we are going through as a matter of not going through an election. Because people have a lot of debts. Yes. Some of them are at the verge of losing their homes, their livelihood. Yes. They put their marital homes in the bank so that they get money. So please reach out to these people and also talk to them. In my view, I think that is very important. Yes, because not everyone might be in position to deal with the outcome. It takes a toll on all of us. And like I have said, for those who are, if you can, do some bit of reading. Yes. I have a problem with people who say they don't have time to read. But I mean, someone has, can spend a whole hour or 2 hours. You're going through Twitter, you're on TikTok, but that is not even being very helpful to your mental health. Go on YouTube. There is a lot of information.
There are even audio books that people can
By the way, for me when I'm taking a shower, I'm reading a book. Okay, listening to a book because there are so many books out there. I'm listening maybe to a podcast on how to deal with stress, on how to deal with defeat. So this information is out there, and this information, we should use it. We should utilize it.
True. So society, it's so funny how society now has already moved on with the winners. You made mention that yes, now inductions are going to go on, and then also the leadership and society management, everything moves tags with the winner. So also the society that you thrive in, your neighborhood, your church where you go, the events you go to. I like the fact that you don't glorify titles. I made mention of, I addressed you as her worship, and you said you don't want to be addressed as her worship. Yes, so for someone who is so fascinated with titles, and yes, they want to be recognized when they go for an event, and this time round they didn't make it. They've gone for a wedding, they've gone for an introduction, they've gone for a corporate event, and they expect to be
They are still in denial.
they expect to be recognized in a special way, because that has been the norm. Everywhere you go, heads will turn, oh, her worship has come, or whatever title the person had. They are now used to that, attracting that kind of crowd, and all of a sudden you go like an ordinary Nyanjura. Would you demand that still, or would you feel bad if you're not addressed that way?
Well, I think really if you're a leader, you'd want to remain with some clout, that when you go at an event, you must be recognized. But for me, this points back to, is it about the title that you hold? Because I want the impact. Because I want to ask you a question. If Media Matembe went to an event, do you think they would fail to recognize her? Do you think they would fail to welcome her and usher her in the front seat? I don't think they would do that. So at times, we shouldn't only be recognized because we hold certain titles. So what impact did you leave behind? So of course, if you did not leave behind any impact, you will go at an event and people will leave you sit at the back.
Yes.
And this is what I especially tell the women, especially the women. Because for us as women, there's a way we tend to even take ourselves at the back.
Yes.
You even go for an event, you find the whole room empty, and for you still choose what? Choose the back seat, which is not the case with the men. A man will come, if he finds the room empty, there are seats at the front, he will do what? He will occupy them. So it also depends on how we treat ourselves. Because for me, whether I'm a leader or not, whether I have a title or not, if there is an event and the seats are not clearly demarcated, why would I sit behind when there is a front seat? Because in my view, I don't belong at the back. Me, I know I belong where? I belong at the front.
Because you also, I also believe that your political position does not take away the fact that you're a leader. And for me, what I pick from what you're saying is leadership is beyond self. You lead whether you're a doctor or doctors die doctors. beyond your political position, beyond you being her worship, you still lead, you still empower. I do a lot of work in the communities, and when you talk about women and girls and us taking up the space, I feel like irrespective of whether you're in a position of power, you should still exert the fact that you're a leader and claim it and still be an agent of change.
Exactly.
And
I actually recommend our viewers here, all those that have lost an election, if you have not read. For me, I've read so many books by Robin Sharma. But the other book that now maybe could fit in our situation is a book titled A Leader with No Title.
Yes.
So even when you do not have a title, you can still offer leadership. Leadership should not stop because the title has stopped. I think leadership can continue even when the title is not there. But probably even how we behave when we have these leadership positions. How are you treating people? Yeah, because I saw some of them said, but Nyanjura, one of them said, I used to call and you are not picking. You get it?
Yes.
So I think also how you treat people when you're in this position of leadership, it also matters. I know of one lady who now joined the regime. And do you know what her fear was? She said she was not used to carrying the bag herself. Probably, you know. You know.
Yeah, it can be that even opening.
She said she was not used to carrying the bag herself. And then she had to cross, go the other side. She became a minister because she needed someone to do what? Someone to carry the bag, open the car. And I also want us to look at the people, especially for those in the opposition, those that are joining the regime. It's not those that are poor. Yes, some of them are poor, but I think you have heard his mom tell you that even used not to know when the salary would be deposited on his account. So at the end of the day, I think it's also individual. You find someone ayagala bitiibwa, ayagala kumugulira logi, ayagala escort, something like that. So like I said, I thank God that for me I never allowed that to get into my head. Yeah, I tried to live as normal as I could, because at the back of my mind, I understood that this position was not permanent.
Yes.
Yes, it has a start and it has an end. But of course, it also pains me.
Yes.
It pains me because I have friends. You find someone has been in parliament for 15 years. And then he tells you, Nyanjura, I can't even afford fuel for 20,000. So, and there are so many in that situation. So please, leadership, NGOs, religious leaders, there are people that need counseling. Please come to their aid, counsel them, talk to them. Let us not leave them to the world. And you know, statistics recently show, if you're to calculate, it's almost more than 60% of Ugandans that are mentally unstable. 71% are mentally unstable. So I'm worried that after this election, the percentage is even going to do what?
Because that was from 2022 to 2024.
Oh my God. So it may be the whole country is now of people that are mentally unstable. And that is why I was applauding you for this work that you're doing. So most likely the percentage has gone high. We need someone to reach out and talk to these people. How to manage losses. I've joined Rotary, but I'm visiting Rotary. I want to go there. I never used to have time for this because I know Rotary is involved in helping the community. Look for a club if you're not a fan of reading. Go out there, join that club, read with them. I used not have time for prayers. Now every Sunday I'll be at St. Luke, you know, going to church, praying, not staying in my bed alone there, stressed. Oh my God, what will I do after 3 years? Like I have said, even if I was to stay sleeping for 1 week, I am not the member of parliament. And a miracle is not going to happen and I become what? And I become a member of parliament. It won't happen.
And
we have elective roles and appointive leadership. Yes, so I feel like you're the best person because you have tried both. How is loss in an elective role and an appointive leadership role?
I think they are quite different, especially if I'm to talk from my from the Uganda perspective. You guys, if you don't have money, you cannot go in an election in Uganda. As a matter of fact, you will spend. Even me that did not buy kashera like they used to call it in Mwenge Central, I spent. Because that
is alcohol, right?
Kashera is alcohol, or you just leave them with money. Because they are, So there are rallies that would go and talk and people are like, hey, Nyanjura, not even kashera. We know you don't have money, but at least give us kashera. But for me, that was my principle. I said I am not going to do what? I am not going to give kashera because it wasn't sustainable. I couldn't even afford it. So even for me, who was not buying kashera, every day I needed a public address system. And the loss that you can spend on a public address system in our village, just hiring a public address system is 400,000. I had cars I needed to fuel those cars. I had 3 of them. The least I could spend was 300,000. So, and of course, you find there are these other things that you need. So at a bare minimum, at least on a daily basis, I needed 1.5, which of course I did not have. Or you find that you need more, there's church fundraising, there's a school fundraising, so and so has died. So at the end of the day, you find that you have done what? You have spent a lot of money. Yes, but if you're just going to be appointed and you're not going through an election, then you're not spending a lot of money. But number 2, I think the demands on a person who has just been appointed, not elected, let's give an example of ministers and whatever, who have not gone through an election, they're just appointed ministers. I think somehow you can live your life. You can live your life. You know what it means? If someone calls and says, I have a sick child, when you don't have the money, you have the liberty to tell him that, you know what, I don't have the money.
But when they elected you,
when they call you and they say, we want school fees, you have the liberty to say, I don't have the school fees, I don't have money now. But for an elected leader, trust me, even when you do not have the money, and you tell this person that you do not have the money, they will start to Amulonda. We voted for her. We voted for him. She has forgotten us. She used to promise a lot of things. So when you're an elected leader, you're more like government. You're expected to work on roads using your money. You're expected to pay school fees. You're expected to buy an ambulance for the community. So anyway, being an elected leader in itself can also affect you mentally, by the way. Being a leader itself can affect you mentally. Now here you are, you have spent all the money in campaigns and you have not done what? And you have not gone through. So I understand what it means.
the expectations are so
Oh
high.
my God, the expectations are so high. I know of friends, they get less than what, they earn less than I earn, but they have more money than most politicians. Because if someone gets his 5 million, it's like, okay, I'm going to save this. It is her money.
Yes.
It's not like you that everyone is expecting you do what? Everyone is expecting you to give them.
So as I listen to you, I'm just imagining it won't be long and the 5 years will be gone. And then we'll be in another election. And definitely, just like football, there's a loser, there's a winner. How would you advise that person who is now in their glorious days at the moment, but who doesn't know what might happen after the 5 years?
Oh my God.
How should they prepare, whether you're in an elective position or appointed one? How should they prepare? And also another thing that comes to mind, I compare that elective position to someone. I work with girls and young women, so I still go back to girls and young women. I'm just imagining this girl in a workspace, and you're also very passionate about that work, who has put in all the work, has gone back to school, studied, done the homework, done an interview, and probably lost. I want to compare it to that. How would you talk to that young girl, or that young woman, or that young man? Yeah.
So what I would say, if you have plans of joining elective politics, number 1, I have said it's inevitable. You need the money. At least have money to cater for the bare minimum. To know that you'll have some posters out there, to know that you'll have a car or a motorcycle that will take you in campaigns. And definitely you cannot do it on your own. You cannot do it on your own. Now is the time for you to start identifying people that you think are going to help you with some money during your campaigns. And I want to thank all the friends that were there for me. I wouldn't have managed it alone. But friends were there, they facilitated, they gave me money, contributed, money for agents, everything. Even those that I didn't know, but some are like, oh, there goes our feminist, there goes our leader. We admire her. So start listing them down. Start saying, okay, maybe here there's Alan, there's Doreen, there's Godfrey. Have a list of people you think can do what? The support system. Otherwise, you're not able to do it on your own. And if you have a young family like mine, I think this is the time now you need to rely on your family. Because I don't think I would have managed. My daughter is yet to make 2 years. But I mean, my sister was there to make sure that my daughter was okay. So identify that support system. But honestly speaking, I don't know if I would sound selfish. Elective politics, you must be prepared mentally
For anything.
for anything. And please do not let anyone convince you to sell your property. People are like, Nyanjura, this is an election. You have to sell something. And I mean, they were telling me those things. So I'm imagining if I had sold my only piece of land that I have here and I treasure it, I spent all my savings there. But they were telling me you have to do what? So I would have totally remained at zero, because I know many of our politicians that have been convinced to even sell their marital homes, to go and sell their pieces of land, and at the end of the day they come out of an election when they have not even made it. So if you feel you're not prepared, please don't go for it. Like we have said, you can still offer leadership even when it's not about being in elective politics. But identify a system that you're going to work with. Identify a home, a political home if you can. You guys, for me, if I didn't have this Katonga home or PFF, I think it takes a toll on you if you're just there on your own. You have no one you can call. Me and you would call Semuju, I'd call the Lord Mayor, I'd call Ingrid and tell them we're going to be Ganye. How are you people managing that side? So you need a family, whether it's a political family, whether it's your actual family, whether it is your friends. Please identify mentors. Identify mentors. People are going to tell you what it is like, what you're going to encounter. I remember at some point I was so stressed. And I had to look for the Honorable Manyam Shega. I told him, I have so many demands for my constituents. I don't know what to do. And I mean, he was there to do what? He was there to advise me. Look for someone that can advise you. But also try to create value within yourself. Try to create value. And I want to repeat this. I see so many young people telling, please, can you take me to Dr. Besige? Can you please take me to Semuju? And I've always told them, I didn't look for Dr. Besige. I didn't look for any leader. But because of the work I was doing, I was very active, I was very vocal, and I was there and I saw Besige sending his personal assistant to come and look for me. I was there, I saw Anne Mujisha spotting me out of the so many and saying, oh, can you please come and we have a meeting, so let us have some value that even someone would be willing to mentor you. Yeah. Let no one deceive you. Mentors also want to mentor someone that has some value, someone worth mentoring. So if you know you want to go and contest, try now. Start now. Show people that you actually are a leader. I have a problem with someone who comes out of nowhere. There are people who nominated on the last day of elections. You had never heard about them. No one knew that they were even contesting. So start now. If in that constituency that you want to contest in, go there and people do what? And people get to know you. I think it would really be embarrassing for you to go in an election and people do not even know you. Yeah. You have been there for the period of campaigns and people cannot even know that this is the person who was also contesting to be a member of parliament or a councillor. Yes, and you know, leadership is about having some level of influence, some minimal influence. So if you are a leader even before being elected, I think you must have some kind of influence. People must know you somehow.
That is true. I think they're born leaders and made leaders. So both leaders will deal with all these dynamics differently. So it was really very informative, whatever you've shared. Thank you very much.
I don't know if I can briefly talk about that. Leaders being made and leaders being born. Leadership is a continuous process. Yeah. It's not a static process. If you look at Nyanjura, I'm also still work in progress. The Nyanjura of 5 years ago and the Nyanjura of today, there's some huge difference. Because 15 years ago, I had never met a leader, closely worked with a leader like Arias Lukwago. But by working with him, there's something I've picked from him. Yeah. I've told people that some of my mentors I have never met physically, but I have met them through reading about leadership, reading about their journey, and that one has also done what? Transformed me. So being a leader, you also need to keep improving yourself. Even when you are born a leader, you need to continue improving yourself so that you also become better. Leadership is changing. A lot of things are changing. You can't be a leader and you're not on the internet. Yeah. You're not on social media. I mean, there's that platform that you need to tap into. Yeah. You can't only be known in your village. But even in your village, you may not be in position to reach every village. But if people are on TikTok, you have to follow your audience. Me, I realized Mwenge Central, they're on TikTok. Now my account is active on TikTok. Yeah. It used not to be active. Here they were on Twitter, and I was very active on Twitter and all that. So leadership is changing. And as a leader, you also have to be changing and moving with the times that we are currently in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. And in a nutshell, what I pick from all this is from the laws at the workplace. You can use this as an opportunity to evolve into someone different, into someone better, into creating your own brand as you, as Allen Sanyu, as Doreen Nyanjura, as Doreen Chasime, not just the office. Beyond the office, there's this person that came to the office as Allen Sanyu, and yes, we keep growing, we keep learning, but at the end of the day, there are hiccups, and these hiccups do not define us during our journey. Yes, so the hiccups are meant as a learning curve, just to learn from them and then pick up the lessons and then move. Yes, so it was really a pleasure to have you as part of this.
Thank you.
And we hope to host you many more times.
I'm also looking towards that. Yeah. You should look for me after 1 year and I tell you how far I have gone.
Yeah. No, of course, we'll be following.
Yeah.
Yes, so it was really nice. What led us here was that tweet. And it's really nice to have a safe space.
Yeah, and I'm happy that people started reaching out after that tweet.
I saw a lot
maybe
of
you
comments.
Also you wouldn't have looked for me.
And I think also to speak out is an important thing.
I believe in speaking out.
Exercising your voice.
Yes, and I think this is something that I've grown up with. Even as a child, when I would have something really bothering me, sometimes I wouldn't have the courage to go and face the person, but I would write. And write, and if all my emotions would get out. If it means crying, I would cry, and after that I'd feel okay. Yeah, I'd feel better. So I think it's important to speak out. I don't know if the interview has ended. We have a challenge, especially for the men. Men are put under a lot of unnecessary pressure. I want to look at the statistics of the 71% of the people that are unstable. Mentally unstable. I don't know if you have read them. Is it women or men that are more?
No, the statistics show adults.
They don't show the gender. How I wish they would show that. Yeah, you find they are telling them, a man, you're not supposed to cry. Why? I mean, men at the end of the day are also human beings. So the men, if you're stressed, there's nothing wrong with crying.
Cry, vent out.
And speaking and being vulnerable. I think that can be a topic of another day.
Oh yeah, you find men struggling. I'm a man, I can't cry. Why can't you cry? You're also human. Yes.
I feel like it's a sign of weakness when they
I don't think it's a sign of weakness.
Yes, some take it that way. We have pages for more information. Everything Mental. Doreen will take us through the pages that we'll for following.
We are on Twitter or X. We are also on TikTok. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram. Please follow us, Everything Mental, and listen to everything else that we've discussed, from loss at a workplace, love at a workplace, now hosting a very lived example, and many other stories that we'll be sharing on our pages. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so now we want you tell me about the Doreen Nyanjura.
That is for another day.
That's for that.